Alright, hello folks. Today we're going to be doing some work on this Troy-Bilt mower here. Now this is the one that came with the house, so it's in the best condition. And I don't know, we might sell this thing because, I mean, we have other mowers that are less optimal that wouldn't be as easy to sell as this. Because, I mean, if you got a mower that's pretty much in mint condition and you have other mowers that work, might as well sell the one that's in good condition because that's the easiest to sell. Today we're just going to be getting this thing real nice and ready to sell if we're going to go for it and do that. So that means changing the oil, because I checked and it has some pretty disgusting looking oil. Cleaning out the bowl. I think it runs, so I don't think there's much problems with too many problems with that. I might check the head, check the valves and some stuff. Just basic things, clean it up. Okay, so the air filter that we got with this was terrible. It was super full of dirt and grime, like they had never cleaned it out in the entire life of the mower, which is probably the case. So I need to get like 2 new air filters, because this one also has the same kind of air filter, same exact kind as this, which is nice. So I might just pick up 2 of those air filters, brand new, and that'll be great. Alright, start by. So you can see that is very, very black, and probably, I'm guessing, they also did not ever change the oil. Oh well, that's what we're here to do. So I find that whenever you tip the mowers up this way towards the air filter, so the air filter is facing down, it tends to drain oil out of the crankcase vent and all into the air filter and everything. So I usually default to tipping it towards the exhaust side to hopefully avoid that. Although lots of times it still drains oil out of something. But we're going to be changing the oil, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So the blade is in decent shape. It could use to be sharpened, as most blades could. There's no major dings. That's a pretty big ding there. It's a pretty big notch, but it still works. And it's pretty clean. It's not rusty. It's a little grassy, but it's definitely not really that rusty. Even the bottom of the crankcase here is pretty non-corroded or anything. The main bearings seem to be good. So I think this is the oil drain plug right here. Would you look at that? It perfectly fits one of these. Maybe that's what they intended. Alright, the oil is a little thick because it's cold and it has not ran. Alright, time to put in the new oil. I finished draining it and I poured a little bit in while the plug was still open to help kind of wash out the old oil and potential sediment or metal shavings, whatever. It's real black stuff. Here, let me show you. It's pretty bad. It's about up to the first hole, which is pretty good. Alright, next we're going to be taking off this little air filter kind of adapter here. So you can see here's our carburetor, and it's filthy. So you know what, I think I probably just might as well remove that whole thing. We have gas in here though, so we're going to end up spilling that everywhere. Take off the auto choke mechanism, which, by the way, if you've not seen these, when the choke is on, you do the spring pulling it, and then as the flywheel spins with the little fins on there, the wind blows this piece out because it's got a kind of fin shape. It's got a surface that's pushed by the wind, and it causes this choke to come off when it's at higher RPM. So it's very clever. Very clever design by Briggs & Stratton. And there's our carb. So, whoops. So, yeah, very dirty. There's nothing like getting tons of gasoline on your hands when it's 30 degrees outside. Because it evaporates so quickly, it just absolutely freezes your fingers. Not to mention it also dries them out a ton. Can't see anything, I'm sure. You can see that gasoline just takes away all the dirt, and so this thing is pretty nice and clean. I believe this is aluminum. Now here we have some starting fluid, which helps lubricate this is not really the correct use for it, but it also can help clean out internal parts by spraying it in there, and it's not as harsh as brake cleaner, which can dissolve O-rings and stuff, so this stuff shouldn't damage the components, hopefully. Getting all these lovely chemicals on my fingers. Probably not good. Much, much, much cleaner. Alright, so I pulled the spark plug and cut myself in the process on this flange of metal. No, it's not rusty, but not too comfortable. Yeah, this thing's super black. Look at that. That's terribly corroded and blackened soot on it. So I'm probably going to get a new spark plug. Just because this thing does have, sometimes it takes a bit to get started. So that's probably due to the spark plug. So Here, I've cranked this over and I'll see if it gives how good the spark is. I can't see anything. Apparently I had this laying around, which is an air filter. I didn't think it was the right size, but I think it actually is. So here we have kind of the pre-filter and then the actual paper filter. Awesome. Yep, that does fit perfectly. Okay then. So this is the exhaust valve and that's the intake valve. So I'll examine. That's pretty good valve seating there, looks like. On the exhaust, and then what about the intake? Yep, it's got a nice clear silver ring around where the contact patch is. If it's not like that, if it's all corroded, then that means you need to regrind the valves a little bit so they can seat properly. Which isn't too hard, but I don't have any valve grinding paste. Although you can see that corrosion in there. All of that stuff. The head gasket is intact, which is good. Yep, I was right. Okay, so this is in fact the intake valve, because you can see this is the start of the intake stroke. As the piston starts to come down, that opens up and gas comes in, and then it shuts. Compression stroke, the gas gets compressed, and then the power stroke, combustion stroke, whatever you want to call it, goes down. And then as you're reaching the bottom, the exhaust valve opens, and then you have the exhaust valve. This is the exhaust stroke. And then it restarts. True story, for my 7th grade manners banquet, I gave a speech about the 4 strokes of an engine. I kid you not. Was it 7th grade manners? Yes, it was. It was 7th grade manners banquet. I gave a speech on how the 4 strokes worked on an engine. But yeah, everything looks alright-ish. There's quite a bit of corrosion, but this engine was probably used for quite a while, so it's to be expected. These videos are quite time-consuming to make and edit, so if you would like to support the channel and enjoy the content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.